Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to the MMA Short Show. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. And guys, UFC 302, man. Shouts out to my girls at B-Dubs. Just another poster added to the list. And man, watching these fights last night, I love this sport, man. It's just another reminder of why you love this sport. I mean, just this Dustin Poirier Islam fight. I mean, just when you think it's over. I mean, just when Islam rocks him early in the first little bit of that first round, and then gets his back for 3.5 minutes. You're sitting there like, man, I knew Islam was good, but you're just hoping for Dustin Poirier to have some little moment, and to watch him turn that fight into an absolute brawl, an absolute classic. Like, if this is the last time we see Dustin Poirier, man, like that was the perfect fight. I really, man, it's probably. It's a more realistic movie, like a Hollywood movie, if we really made a career out of Dustin Poirier. Like, let's be honest, for the most of us, man, out of here, there's 9 billion people out there. Like, most of us aren't probably going to achieve our dreams or whatnot. And like, we're working towards those steps, and we might be good at our craft. We might be amazing at it. But, certain times in life, man, there's just certain things you just maybe not always climb the mountaintop, which doesn't make you a failure or anything. That's not even the point. Like, it's honestly more beautiful, kind of like the Friday Night Lights movie, kind of like all these ones that we've watched before. Some of our favorite sports movies where, the hero doesn't win at the end. And, it's more realistic, but it doesn't mean you should ever stop chasing your dreams and loving what you do and making a great, successful career out of it. Like, if Dustin Poirier wanted to stop every time he lost a fight, like, this man wouldn't have what he has today. So it's beautiful to watch him go out there, but I mean, my goodness, what a fight, man. To see him holding his ground, to see him like absolutely screaming in his face, like telling him like, come on, motherfucker. Like, that was some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I was jumping out of my seat at B-Dubs. I was literally screaming as loud as I could for Dustin Poirier. There was a second there where I thought he had it, and then Islam with one of the nastiest foot sweeps I've ever seen. Gets the bag, gets the darts, it's over. Good night. And I think the biggest thing that we learned tonight, I think the question that was answered, probably the biggest one was, I just don't think Islam's ready for somebody like Leon Edwards. I don't know if he's ready to go up to 170. I mean, Dustin Poirier looked like he gave him every bit of his, every bit that he possibly could to handle, especially when it came to like, when we see Islam in the clinch and everything, this man doesn't get pushed off. This man is so strong. You hear all the time. You heard Joe Rogan in DC talking about it. You hear about it all the time when we talk about these Dagestanis. Like, their strength is ridiculous. Their grip is ridiculous. Like, they're insane. Their weight distribution. They know everything when it comes to the human body. And to see him struggle against DP, to see DP picking him up in certain times, shoving him off him, yelling, "Get the F off me!" Like, it was amazing, man. And I'm just telling you guys, I just don't know if Islam could even run through. I mean, if Arman Sarukian can keep the fight standing, that's going to be a hell of a good fight. You're telling me Charles Oliveira rematch, if that ever somehow happens, you're telling me that wouldn't be a good fight? Like, Max Holloway wouldn't have been giving that man problem with the pace? I mean, Islam got tired. If Max Holloway's not getting taken down, given the pace, I mean, let's be real here. I know if Islam gets these guys down and works on getting them up against the fence and everything, it's over. We know this, but the blueprint's out there, man. Volk and Dustin said it, like, or have shown it, I should say. You stay in the middle of that damn octagon, it's a lot harder for people to take you down. And as good as these guys are, it takes them to go to the next level to get that takedown, which, I mean, that takedown at the end there, that was the most desperate I might have seen anybody for a takedown in MMA. In general, Islam was like, hey, man, I'm putting all my energy into this one, and if I don't get it, it might be the end of the night for me. Like, I truly think Islam might have been gassed after that. You never know. You never know how it would have played out. But you can't deny that man was desperate for that last takedown, and it worked out well for him. But if these guys can keep it in the middle of the octagon and keep that pressure going, I mean, somebody like Max Holloway, you got Charles Oliveira, Arman Sarukian. I mean, you could even argue Conor McGregor, if he can somehow keep it out there, the sniping ability, if he can come back even remotely close. I mean, I'm just saying, man, and it could be impressive. I just don't know if Islam's ready. And I think this answers the question as well. It probably answered it after the Volk fight, the first one. But to be fair, he went back out, knocked him out. And then after this Dustin Poirier fight, for the people that argue it out there, there is no argument anymore. This man Khabib was way better than what Islam is. Yeah, Islam might be a little more, well-rounded and everything, but Khabib was so damn good at getting you to the ground and just smothering you and finishing you all night and making you look like you couldn't even touch him. Like, I mean, let's be real here, man. Habib wouldn't have lost or even had a remotely close fight against Volk. We saw it with Dustin Poirier. Like, yeah, sure, the Gilly was close, but he literally reversed it and had it finished right after. So I understand where Islam's coming, where he says, man, defending the belt isn't the same. It doesn't wake you up the same as getting a belt. So I understand his argument for 170. And don't get me wrong, any of them guys, especially in Habib's camp, man, I'm telling you, if any of those guys get you to the ground, I think they could finish anybody out there. So, but I'm just saying, I don't know if Islam's ready for that 170, man. 170 is stacked, especially with some strong guys that I don't know, man. This fight really opened my eyes a lot, and it could have been, Dustin Poirier's last chance, last little like fight. Maybe it was just he might have had the MMA gods on his side a little bit. It could have just been one of them. Like he was so energized and so focused for his last big chance that it could have been just one of his greatest performances ever out there, even in a loss. But I don't know, man. I think I like when Dustin Poirier is saying that he wants to retire. Like, what else would you fight for? Sure, big money fights, cool, to stack your family up even more and more, which he's said multiple times he's good. He's fought how many times? But, I mean, when you're out here only fighting to become the champion and prove you're the best of the best, like, fighting guys like Benoit Saint Denis and fighting Conor McGregor for the 5th time, and maybe if Nate Diaz comes back and fighting him, and maybe fighting Max for the 18th time, like, yeah, I just don't think that these do that for him, man. I understand where he's coming from, and I think I like I don't like seeing these guys like we've seen. I can go on for days. I don't even want to get into the list, but the older guys that we see all the time that have fought living legends, and they've been around forever, pioneers of the sport, but they stay around too long, and we see them get knocked out 5 straight times like we saw Chuck Liddell, or if you want to go even to right now, probably the most recent guy, watching Tony Ferguson just keep getting murdered and murdered and murdered every time that he fights. It's sad, man. We don't want to see this. We don't want to see the sport retire you. We want to see you retire from the sport, and that's exactly like I saw from Habib. I wish Henry Cejudo would have done the same thing. Like, I think there's more honor and respect and everything when it comes to this sport and how heavy it is with honor and respect. I think it's huge for these guys to do such a thing. And I think we'll look back and, yeah, maybe you had a little more juice to squeeze, but maybe you don't. Maybe you go out there and get knocked out again by Justin Gaethje. Maybe you go get embarrassed by Max Holloway. You never know, man. And I really like what he's doing. You never know. Maybe someday he can get up to 170. They might just throw him and maybe a little title shot, maybe throw him a bone, just like last second replacement. You never know. But I think I like Dustin Poirier retiring here. And if it is really the end, man, it's been one of the greatest careers we've ever got to watch. I mean, he might not be a fan favorite at first. He might have, especially the people that were on the Conor train, you might have actually hated him for a while. But to see what he's done, to go through the adversity that man's gone, like his career, his heart, and everything is on that man's sleeve. You see it every single day. He's been praising the same people, his wife, the man's a family man. You've been saying the same thing with the same team, with the same family for so long. You have to love this guy. And if that was the last time we see him, what a better, yeah, you lost, but what a better fight to go out on. I mean, my goodness, like, hats off to that man, Dustin Poirier, and I wish him nothing but the best in life. His hot sauce, the man's king of Louisiana, like, this guy's going to be fine. Everything he does, he's going to probably be on, like UFC Tonight or whatever the heck they do now. They're gonna probably get him on the little commentary team. I think he'll be perfect, but I mean, with Islam, I'm excited to see that Arman fight. I really think that should be next. I don't know if he should go up to 170, but if he does, I'm still here for it. The man is a legend. And yeah, sure, I compared him to Habib, but if you're getting compared to Habib and those guys, you're doing something correct. But outside of that, UFC 302 was pretty awesome. Kevin Holland broke a dude's arm. That shit was cool. And then I'm still laughing, man. That Paulo Costa 49-46 over Sean Strickland. Like, what fight were we watching? Maybe 49-46 for Strickland, but holy moly, to hear 49-46 Costa and then to hear 50-45 Strickland, again, what is going on with these judges? You don't see this anywhere else. Like, it blows my mind. It blows my mind, man. But UFC 302, well worth it. Can't wait for the end of this month, International Fight Week. We get to watch Conor McGregor come back. The UFC is just popping, man. It is just popping, and boy, do I love this sport. But you guys let me know what your guys' favorite thing was. Roman Kopylov, a great performance. And that man, Alex Morona, I know you don't give a crap, man, and I shouldn't even blame you, but you ruined my little, 12-leg parlay. I almost hit every single fight if it wasn't for you losing to Nico Price. Come on, man. Come on. But regardless, still a good fight. But as always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. Let's go, baby.